Welcome to LinesToGo installation videos. Today we will be removing and installing brake lines on a 2007 Chevrolet Impala with LinesToGo part number BLC-211-SS. While this particular installation is on a 2007 Chevrolet Impala, this set of lines will also work for the following year, make, and models as shown on your screen now. LinesToGo lines are made using original equipment end forms and fittings that are CNC bent for an easy and precise installation. We have also upgraded to stainless steel braided Teflon hoses for rust protection and to prevent surface fouling. These have an unlimited shelf life and anti-static PTFE liner. This set of LinesToGo lines are made using 304L stainless steel for rust resistance that exceeds OEM standards. Tech tip: disconnect the battery before working on a vehicle to reduce the risk of shorting out the battery on tools or lines. LinesToGo lines are made with a sectional design for easier installation. We also use color-coded unions on our sectioned lines. Just match the colors at the connections. Tools required: 10mm, 18mm, and 19mm sockets and ratchet, 10mm, 12mm, 13mm, and 14mm wrenches, cutting pliers, flat blade screwdriver, drain pan, jack and jack stands. The level of difficulty for this installation is considered to be easy. Start by disconnecting the battery using a 10mm socket. Next, disconnect the 4-threaded fittings in the master cylinder using a 13mm wrench. Note the location of the lines. When viewed from the driver's side of the vehicle, the line at the top left of the master cylinder goes to the left front wheel, the line at the bottom left of the master cylinder goes to the right rear wheel, the line at the top right of the master cylinder goes to the right front wheel, and the line at the bottom right of the master cylinder goes to the left rear wheel. Next, raise the vehicle and using a 19mm socket, remove all 4 wheels. Using a 13mm wrench, remove the threaded fitting from the left front flex hose and then remove the line from the vehicle. Using a 13mm wrench, remove the threaded fitting in the right front flex hose. Using a flat blade screwdriver, remove the right front line from the plastic bracket located inside of the right front wheel well. With the rear of the front subframe supported, use an 18mm socket to remove both rear bolts. Lower the subframe at the rear. Disconnect the oxygen sensor electrical connection. Guiding the line over the rear of the front subframe, remove the right front line from the vehicle. Using 2 13mm wrenches, disconnect the 2 unions at the left rear of the vehicle. Using a 13mm and a 10mm socket, remove the bolts from the support brackets securing the lines underneath the vehicle. Using a flat blade screwdriver, remove the lines from the plastic brackets. Using a pair of cutting pliers, cut both rear lines behind the front subframe. Remove the front and center sections of both rear lines from the vehicle. Using a 13mm wrench, remove the threaded fitting at the left rear flex hose. Remove the plastic clips and remove the left rear line from the vehicle. Using a pair of cutting pliers, cut the right rear line on the left-hand side of the rear subframe. Remove the forward section from the vehicle. Using a 13mm wrench, remove the threaded fitting in the right rear flex hose. Remove the two plastic brackets located on top of the rear subframe and pull the line out of the passenger side of the vehicle. To begin the installation of your new LinesToGo brake lines, start by installing the passenger side section of the right front line labeled 04B into place. Start the fitting into the flex hose by hand. Next, install the left section of the right front line labeled 04A into position over the subframe. Start the threaded fitting into the top right of the master cylinder. Connect the union located above the exhaust manifold behind the engine and tighten using a 14mm and a 12mm wrench. Using a 14mm wrench, tighten the fitting at the master cylinder and also at the right front flex hose. Reconnect the oxygen sensor electrical connector. Next, install the left front line labeled 03 into position and start the threaded fitting into the top left of the master cylinder. Start the fitting into the left front flex hose and tighten using a 14mm wrench. Tighten the fitting in the master cylinder using a 14mm wrench. Install the front section of the left rear line labeled 05A over the subframe. Start the fitting into the bottom right of the master cylinder. Next, install the front section of the right rear line labeled 06A over the subframe and start the fitting into the master cylinder. Raise the front subframe and using an 18mm socket, tighten the two rear bolts. Install the center section of the left rear line labeled 05B into the plastic brackets and start the threaded union behind the rear subframe. Please note that although it is not shown on the brake lines in this video, your LinesToGo brake lines will be color-coded for an easy installation, just like is shown on the fuel lines on this image. Install the rear section of the left rear line labeled 05C into position and start the threaded union. Start the fitting into the left rear flex hose and tighten using a 14mm wrench. Using a 12mm and a 13mm wrench, tighten the threaded unions behind the front subframe and in front of the rear axle. Using a 14mm wrench, tighten the fitting at the master cylinder. Next, install the second section of the right rear line labeled 06B into position and start the fitting behind the front subframe. Using a 10mm and a 13mm socket, install the four support brackets back into place. Install the next section of right rear line labeled 06C into position and start the union in front of the rear axle. Feed the final section of the right rear line labeled 06D over the rear subframe and start the threaded union on the driver's side of the subframe. Start the threaded fitting into the right rear flex hose and tighten using a 14mm wrench. Using a 12mm and a 13mm wrench, tighten the union behind the front subframe along with the two unions at the rear axle. Install any remaining plastic brackets, including the two located over the rear subframe. Using a 10mm wrench, bleed all four wheels, making sure the brake fluid reservoir stays topped up. Install all four wheels using a 19mm socket to torque to spec. Reconnect the battery using a 10mm socket. This concludes the installation of brake lines on a 2007 Chevrolet Impala with LinesToGo part number BLC-211-SS. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or would like to purchase the lines you saw today, please call us at 1-855-781-5992. Email us at info@linestogo.com or check out our website link below. And don't forget to take advantage of our free 2-day shipping. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe button below, and we will see you on our next video.